In this video, we are going to discuss about interconnection standards. So generally, you can see the laptops and computers have different ports to connect their input and output devices such as keyboard, joysticks, printer, hard disk, that is external hard disk, etc. So these standards are developed by the collaborative effort of different companies, which was approved and standardized by IEEE. In this, first we are going to see about the USB, that is Universal Serial Bus. Why it is popular means because it is widely used and it works in plug and play mode. So with the help of this USB connector, we can connect mouse, keyboard, printers, memory keys, external hard disk, etc. And it is very handy and cost effective. Different versions of USB is available in the market, which will vary according to their speed, cost, and timing constraint. Here, USB standard defines both USB hardware and software that communicates with it. For the proper operation, that is plug and play approach, OS, that is operating system, must identify what type of the device is connected to the port, and it also uses the appropriate devices diodes. So here the device is nothing but a hardware, and device driver is a software which is used to detect the universal serial bus automatically. So the software play the major role in identifying it. We can also remove the USB from the port once it is powered off. USB IF was found in the year 1995 by several companies like Microsoft, IBM, Compaq. Later, it is joined by several other companies like HP, HCL, etc. First USB was found in the year 1996. Later USB International Forum released USB 1, USB 2, USB 3.0, Gen 1, etc. Here, the USB 1.1 operate at low speed of 1.5 megabits per second. Uses Type A connector. Later, USB 2 was released in April 2000 with higher speed. So which is of 480 megabits per second. So if you want higher speed, even higher speed, USB 3 is released. It will transfer the data up to 5 gigabits per second. So now let us come to the device characteristics. So whenever any devices is connected to the computer, we have to note the speed, volume, timing constraint which is associated with the data transfer from and to the device will vary significantly, right? Suppose if you see the keyboard, whenever the keyboard is pressed, so the 1 byte of data get generated every time whenever the key is pressed. So these data must be transferred to the computer properly. Whenever the event of pressing a key which is not synchronized to any other event in the computer system, this data generated by the keyboard is called as asynchronous. Why? Because the data generated is quite low and compared to the processor operating speed.
So that is why this is operated at a low speed and asynchronous mode. So the computer mice also comes under this category. Now let us discuss. So if you see, whenever a microphone is attached to this USB, the sound is picked from the microphone, which is an analog signal that should be converted into a digital form by using the ADC. Okay, which generate n number of bits. Okay, which represent the magnitude of the sample. These n number of bits is selected, which is based on the desired precision with which to represent each sample. Then these data must be sent to a speaker, okay, by converting the digital signal to analog. So in order to restore this original analog signal from the digital format, this is how this will work. Okay, so like the sound wave, we can process the video information. So whatever the data that is processed by the processors, it should be in the digital format. Okay, so it should have the sampling rate. That is, the sampling rate must be twice a higher frequency. Okay. So the sampling process, which yields a continuous stream of digitalized sample that arrives at a regular interval, must be synchronized with the sampling clock. Such a data stream is called as isochronous, meaning the successive events are separated by equal period of time. So if this Nyquist criteria is not met, means there will be a problem called aliasing, and there will be a jitter which is not acceptable. Okay, so this USB will operate in plug and play mode. Okay, so whenever something is plugged into that hub, USB hub, device the device that is the operating system should have a software that that is a device driver that should know what is the device that is connected. Okay, based on by storing the address into the address registers. That is, if you it need to know the address of the registers in the device's interface to be able to communicate with it. Okay, so once if we know the address only, we can communicate with the USB, right? So the USB standards define both the USB hardware and software that communicate with it. So what is plug and play feature is whenever the new device is connected, the system must detect it automatically. Okay, the software will do this job. Okay, and it also do how to communicate with it, as well as uh, special requirement it might have. So therefore, the user simply plug in the USB devices and begin to use it without having to get involved in any of this detail. So what is hot pluggable means? Which means a device can be plugged into or removed from the USB port while the power is turned on. So next one is USB architecture. It uses a point-to-point connections and serial transmission format. So whenever multi devices are connected, they must be arranged in the tree structures. That is, each node of the tree has a devices called hub, which will act as an intermediate transfer point between the host computer and the input-output devices. So at the root of the tree, we have a root hub, which will connect the entire tree to the host computer. So the leaf of the tree are the IO devices, which is nothing but a mouse, keyboard, printer, camera, etc. So the tree structure will make it possible to connect many devices using a single point-to-point serial links. So if input devices want to send a message, at a time two message will reach the hub at the same time, which will cause the interface. So therefore, the USB operates strictly based on the polling. Whenever devices send a message only in response to a poll message from the host computer. Hence, there will be a no interface. So that is why it is very simple and it is low cost devices. So the each devices on the USB, whether it is hub or the input devices, it should be assigned a 7-bit address. So this address is local to the USB tree, which is attached to the processor, which appears as a single devices. The host software will communicate with the individual devices by sending the information to the root hub, which is it will forward to the appropriate devices in the USB tree. So whenever the USB get connected to the hub and it is powered on, it will be addressed as 0. At the same time, the host will each hub to collect the status information and learn about the new devices that may be added or disconnected. So whenever the host is informed that a new devices has been connected, so it will read the information in a special memory in the devices USB interface to learn about the device capability. So after that, it will assign the devices a unique USB address and writes that address in one of the device interface registers. So this is the initial procedure of the USB plug and play capability. So it will transfer the USB data on isosynchronous manner. So isosynchronous data need to be transferred at precisely timed regular interval. So to accommodate these type of traffic, the root hub transmit a uniquely recognized sequence of bits over the USB tree every millisecond. So these sequence of bits are called as start of frame character, which will act as a marker indicating the beginning of the isosynchronous data which are transmitted after this character. So thus the digitized audio and video signal can be transferred in a regular and precise time manner. So here the USB has 4 wires. So two is for supply and ground, and 2 is for data D plus and D minus. So this input and output devices doesn't require any large power. Okay. So here we are using two methods to send data over a USB cable. So when we send a data at low speed, high voltage which is related to the ground is transmitted, which is considered as 1 of the two data wire to represent a 0 and another to represent a 1. So the ground wire carries the return current in both cases. So this signal is injected on the wire which is related to the ground is referred to a single data transmission. So the speed at which the data can be sent on the cable is limited by the amount of the noise present. So this noise referred to any signal that interferes with the desired data signal and it will causes an error. So it is very susceptible to noise. And the ground is always common to all devices of the computer. So signals sent by one devices can cause a small variation in the voltage and the ground wire, and hence it can interface with the signals sent by the other devices. So this interface also caused by one wire picking up noise from nearby wire. So therefore, we are going for the alternate arrangement called differential signaling. So here D plus and D minus are used in order to send the positive and 1 and 0, and the ground wire is not used here. So the receiver will sense the voltage difference between the two wires without reference to the ground. So this is a very effective ways to reduce the noise which is seen by the receiver, because here any noise injected on these two wires of the twisted pair is also injected on the others. So this receiver will be sensitive only to the voltage difference between these two wires, and the noise get cancelled out because noise get transmitted in the two wires, right? So, and the ground wires act as a shield for the data. Therefore, the differential signaling allows much lower voltage and much higher speed to be used when compared to the single-ended signaling.